friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're going to be working on the going home sweater for dolls. So it's super exciting to be working on this because I love to give things to my little nieces and they love dolls. So being able to make something that's going to match what they're wearing is super fun. So I hope you enjoy sewing these as well. So let's get to it. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is so I am doing the cowl version. So for doing the cowl version, the first thing we're gonna do is attach our sleeves. Now for the neckband version, we will go ahead and do the split back the split back for putting the Velcro on. But since I'm not doing that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to doing our sleeves. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my bodice and put it face up on my board, and I'm going to match up my sleeve to it. So I am matching up those raw edges, right sides together of my sleeves, and they match up pretty perfectly, so that's how we know where they're going. And we're gonna go ahead and sew those on. I'm gonna sew both sleeves on, right sides together. Once the one set of sleeves are sewn, you can go ahead and grab your front bodice, place it out, and then once those are sewn, we're gonna grab the other side of the sleeves and match those up. But you know, I like to do everything at once, so that way everything kind of goes a little bit quicker. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin those. Bo's trying to say hello. I'm gonna go ahead and pin those so that I can sew them at the same time. Now it's up to you if you wanna do that too as well, or if you wanna go ahead and sew one and then come back and sew the other one. Sometimes that's easier for some people. I like to do it all at once. And sometimes I like to go ahead and do my bands. So what we do, if you're making bands for the top, you might not be, but I am. You would mark the half of the band. Oh my goodness, Bo is really saying hello to you today. Oh, here they are. I was looking for my scissors. You mark the half of your band, mark the half of your sleeve, and then we open up that band and we match up where the half is of my sleeve and my band, and then we're gonna sew it on. The reason why we sew the band on first before we sew the sides, like it's not on the round, and then we're gonna stretch and sew on our serger or sewing machine. The reason why we do that first before we sew it together is because before we sew the sides together, like usually on a regular top, we sew our sides, then we put our bands on the round, kind of like on this top. This is my high hopes. We don't do that because sometimes with dolls going on the round, it is so hard sometimes because it's so tiny. So doing it this way makes it a lot easier. So we fold our band wrong sides together, and then we fold it in half, and we mark our half, and then I match where I marked my half with my marked half. Now this little notch is so small that you won't be able to see it once I sew it on, and I'm gonna stretch and sew all the way. So I'm gonna sew the sleeves on and sew the cuffs on. All right, now that our cuffs are on, you can go ahead and steam them. And then once that's done, you can go ahead and grab your sides. We're gonna sew our sides together. Now, if you are doing the option with the neckband, so you have hoop and loop or Velcro, it is done just a tiny bit different because you're adding the Velcro on there now. But since this is the cowl, it doesn't have those steps on here. So we're gonna move on to sewing the sides. Okay, now after we sew our sides, we're gonna go ahead and attach the band. So we're gonna go ahead and prep our band at the same time that we do our sew our sides. And how we do that is we grab our band and we're gonna sew it right sides together here at that raw edge. So let's sew those side seams and that band. All right, now I've got all these lovely little tails everywhere, and what we'll do with these tails right here is you can either grab a big needle like so and tuck it in there and tuck that seam in there and pull it through, or you can use a zigzag stitch and zigzag stitch it over your seam allowance. I sometimes do that. However you want to hide that tail in there would be just fine, and you're going to do that on both sides. And we're almost done. We're going to go ahead and do our waistband. So now we're going to grab our bottom, match those raw edges, go to the front and mark your front. So we're essentially quartering our bodice, go to the back and mark our back. And I'm gonna grab my band and do the same thing to my band. So first we're gonna go ahead and fold our band wrong sides together to create like your band. And then we're gonna mark where our half is, and then we can mark our quarter point. So from seam, that back seam to the front is our half. Mark that. Again, I'm just doing those little notches, and then match the front and the back and go to the sides, and those are my quarters. And now we're gonna go ahead and grab our band and match up our quarters. You see how the front kind of goes down a little bit? Well, I wanna put that band, what do you call it? That seam right there on the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fit it right in there and put it in that back notch, and then the side seam, put it in the side one, and you're matching them right sides together. So the right side of the band with the right side of the bodice, the bottom of the bodice. And then we're gonna go over there and sew them together. So all the way around. Now we're gonna prep our cowl, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and open both of our pieces and put them right sides together on top of each other, our outer and our liner, and we're gonna sew those sides. So choop, 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 choop. These is your neck area. So it's gonna go to a peak, sew that, and then the peak over here, sew that. All right, now that we're done with that, I'm just gonna trim these just because I like to get them out of my way. I'm gonna grab my cowl and I'm gonna turn it so that my neck area are right here and those raw edges are together. You know, I always used to be so scared of doll patterns because I thought, oh my goodness, they're gonna be so complicated and they're so tiny and they're so scary. But honestly, they are not. They are so easy, and they're the perfect scrap buster for all those scraps that you have, and then you can gift them, or you know, if you have little ones who like dolls and everything like that, it's just so perfect. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and either you can turn it or you can actually leave it how it is, and we're gonna fit that cowl right in there, and we're gonna match those. First we're gonna let's find our half of our sleeve, fold it in half and find where that's at, and that's where I'm going to place my cowl. Okay, and I'm gonna match up those side seams to it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sew that cowl on, stretching it lightly as I sew it. All right, now I just gotta tuck in that last sleeve that I left out, cut out some of these trims that are hanging out. And we are done. Tell me how easy this was. Were you scared this was gonna be a really super hard project, and then we did it and it's like, what? How adorable is this? This is so cute. I want this on my size, please. So I may have to sew this up next, like a real true size, so we can match. I might make, you know what? Sewing all these doll patterns makes me really want to get a little doll, because I used to love dolls when I was little and I don't know what happened. I mean, why is it not okay for adults to have dolls? It is okay, right? So I might get myself a little doll because I am kind of really loving these patterns. So I hope you love them as well. Please let me know what you're making next. Go check out all our other doll patterns that we have. We have a ton, and I just love that you can match them up with the kid outfit and everything like that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm just getting distracted over here trying to put this one seam in there. All right. I hope you had a great day. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, so you never miss any of our other tutorials. Share with your friends so they can see the cute little things they can make. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.